But these people, how can they have the right to stop us and put us in jail or take our stuff at the side of the road?
You know, the Supreme Courts in every state and even in the Supreme Court has said that driving is a privilege. No longer do any of the corporations that call themselves government acknowledge that.
No, they say that driving is a right. The corporations say
right,
that.
exactly.
The corporations say, well, it's a good thing. You made that error because it's a good thing, because they say driving is a privilege. Well, yeah, if you get a license and you acquiesce and you pretend or you believe that you're not holding this thing in fee simple. You believe that you don't have the freedoms, and then you believe those things are real.
So the fee simple thing would abrogate those assumptions of that you can't, that driving is not a right.
Well, nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us is a privilege or an immunity. What is privileges and immunities? It says in the Constitution, only to 14th Amendment citizens. And we don't like what's happening to us. You know what Cray said, the reason I brought this story about my son getting this ticket yesterday, he said, do you understand, he said, let me ask you a question. You understand that this is all about revenue generation? And the guy said, oh, he said, how many times, how often do they send you out to do this revenue generation? And the guy said, oh, I'm out here a lot. And he said, well, you understand what it's for? And he said, no, not really. And he said, it's for pensions. It's only to fund pensions. It's to fund the pensions. And the guy said, really? He said, yeah, think about it. He said, I'll give you a couple of YouTube things you can look up to see. I mean, officials have said this. My point is, I was listening to a tape yesterday, or a recording yesterday by a friend of mine, or maybe, his name is Ed Rivera, and he used to be an attorney. They disbarred him, which they tend to do if anybody, well, we have a disenfranchised doctor here, because
that was because I told him I didn't want it anymore. I asked if I did.
Yeah, but still, you know, I mean, because when you get those kind of licenses, they can jerk you away. And if you're an attorney and you stand up for people's rights and you believe that people are free and you believe that people own their own property, because in law school they teach that the government owns all the property, that nobody owns their own property. That's what they teach in law schools.
Yeah, I just question whether or not they're even attempting or saying that they're attempting to have anything to do with law, or whether they know they're dealing with legalities.
What they're doing is they're programming. Mm-hmm. They're programming. It's like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. They're programming. I mean, you know, you scratch a kid. Do you believe in Santa Claus? Of course he believes in Santa Claus. He's been told that myth ever since he was a little teeny pup. You know, let's put our baskets out and the Easter Bunny can come. I used to think as a kid, how big is this Easter Bunny? And how, I mean, I believed in the Easter Bunny. Here, I got an Easter basket every day.
Just don't leave out the tooth fairy.
The tooth fairy. The tooth fairy. The tooth fairy. Well, you know, kids tend not to believe that nearly as long as in age.
The ones that's going to bring
But they do get greedy and they want the tooth. They're going to say, I want the tooth fairy to come. You know, they're going to buy into that one. So the myth that the government owns us or that the government has authority over us is a myth, and it's a belief. And the sooner we give up that belief, the better off we'll be. Interestingly enough, in this talk I was listening to yesterday by Ed, this guy called up and he had all kinds of, he was fighting traffic tickets. I mean, like Don Quixote and the windmills, and there were a lot of windmills. And this guy was fighting traffic tickets, and he was just, you know, he'd sued the governor, he'd sued everybody. He's had to sue in federal court over it, and courts are not the answer, folks. Do not even entertain the idea that you can get somewhere and sue. Courts are not the answer. Courts are the religious entities, facades. You need to stay away from them unless you belong to the religion of the court. If you're any other kind of religion, stay out of their grasp. So he was asking questions, and you know, he had this terrible battle over the fact he didn't have a driver license and the fact that they kept picking him up. And he was fighting. He said, I'm just fighting. And he said, He said, what Ed said to him was, that's where the, well, let's just call it plethora, flotilla of the SWAT teams are. That is where they concentrate their power over the normal person is on the road, in the traffic area, because that's their point of first entry, if you will, into the payment of the pensions. And so he said, that's, you don't ever go at somebody where their strength is, and that's where their strength lies, is on the road in traffic citations.